Odie TV here, back with another vid for you guys. Yeah, y'all, hit that subscribe, like, bell icon so y'all can be notified of this reel because y'all know Odie keeps it real. Yeah, you guys, let's get into this quick video. I'm not going to be on here long, but I just wanted to, I, I, I really don't get these guys, right? Because I'm in the comment section and, I'm saying that the $14 million rumor, right, of the 3-fight deal that Terrence Crawford has allegedly been offered is just a bad deal, right? It's a lowball offer. And let's just make it clear, right? I'm about to share something with you guys, right? Let's share what he made versus Sean Porter, right? Because I got him pulled all the way up already. But let's share what he made versus Sean Porter. I mean, which we already know, right? But the ErrolSexuals, it seemed like that they don't do no kind of research at all, right? So he made Crawford is guaranteed upward of $6 million for the fight. So he made $6 million, right? And then in his last fight versus Kell Brook, he made $3 million. So if you count that up, 6 plus 3 is $9 million right there, right? In 2 fights, he made $9 million. So why would it make sense for him to sign a $14 million contract for 3 fights, right? And I'm about to put up the other one too. Let me put up the other one. Okay, now let's stop screen and let's put up what he made versus Amir Khan. Right. So people, they saying that Crawford not smart, Crawford not this, Crawford not that. But it's like, shit, he seems pretty smart to me. What the hell just happened? Oh shit. Let me go back. Yeah, man. But he made, let's see how much he made. I had it highlighted, but it ain't gonna have it highlighted. Bud Crawford will earn. Fucking phone want to do that all of a sudden. Bud Crawford will earn a minimum of $5.5 million. Continue to show respect for Khan, whose minimum guarantee is $5 million. And this is according to ESPN News, right? So count it up. So just count it up. He made $9 million versus Kell Brook and Sean Porter, plus $5.5 million versus Amir Khan. So that's 10, 11, 12, 13, $14 million, 0.5, right? So I just wanted to, because this is just, like at this point, it's sad. It is really sad that these people, they don't do nothing. They just regurgitate what the hell they hear, right? But what he say? Oh man, but why wouldn't he take that deal, man? Like that's basically $4.6 million a year. Huh? When he made that in 2 fights. Right? When he made more than that in 3 fights. It makes no sense, man. But, allegedly the fight is done and we should hear some good some good news from the fight. Hopefully it's done. Hopefully it's not all smoke and mirrors. Hopefully it's done, right? So I can come on here and say, hey, I was totally wrong. The fight is done. It took Errol Spence Jr. long enough, but hey, it's done, right? And let's get to it. But just at this point though, right? It's just really sad, right? It's really, really, really sad, man. And let me share this right fast too. Because I had another picture. Of what's her name. I had another picture of Tank Davis that I want to show. It's funny too. I can't even see it. I got to crop it right. I got to crop it right, you guys, but it's a funny picture though, man. It's Floyd Mayweather with Tank Davis on a bike with training wheels. It's funny. I'm like, man, like fans be coming up with some cold pictures, right, of people. Cold pictures of people. But yeah, you guys. So we got the Andy Ruiz versus Louis King Kong Ortiz fight happening this Saturday. And and hopefully that can be a good fight. Hopefully, um, it can just be a good fight. But I will do a video on the PBC, trying to collect the WBC belt again. Because if you guys don't know, all the guys that's in these eliminators, Luis Ortiz, Andy Ruiz, Robert Helenius, and Deontay Wilder, we all know they all PBC fighters, right? And they all fighting eliminators, right? Deontay Wilder is fighting an eliminator versus Robert Helenius, and Louis King Kong Ortiz is fighting an eliminator versus Andy Ruiz. And we already know after that fight, they're going to try to fight for the WBC title. So basically what the WBC is doing, they just handing the title back to the PBC, right? That's basically what they doing. And nobody's going to hold them accountable. Nobody's going to call in, how they used to call in. Like, because I remember when people used to call in and, complain and do all this to the WBC, to Mauricio Sulaiman, but people don't even do that no more, right? Man, because they already know that the PBC is in favor, with the WBC. So they're not going to do that. They'll probably do it against Canelo or something like that, right? They'll probably say something about Lomachenko. Y'all know how it go, man. Man, when it's other fighters, it gets elevated, right? And people want to complain. But when it's your favorite fighter, you have nothing to say. Nothing to say. Right? So the PBC will be getting back the WBC title, and that's probably after Tyson Fury takes on Usyk. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Because whoever wins that fight is going to retire, I heard. So, right? And Usyk, he 35, 36 himself. So he getting up there in age anyway. And Tyson Fury 33, 34, something like that. So he's getting up there. But me, I don't think that Tyson Fury should, I don't think that neither one of them should retire. Let's just be honest, because they have more people to fight. Both of them have more people to fight. I mean, for real, both of them. Tyson Fury, I mean, shit, if he only fight Usyk, then that means he fought Klitschko, he fought Deontay Wilder, and he fought Usyk. That's it? No, you should have to fight AJ. You should have to fight Joseph Parker, Andy Ruiz, right? You should have to fight, you should have to fight these guys. You shouldn't just win and then you retire. No, bro. No. Just like Usyk, he only really beat Joshua. Right? Because all the other guys he fought, like he wasn't really supposed to win, but he was supposed to win, And Joshua is the only guy he beat. So if he beat Tyson Fury, what about him fighting Deontay Wilder and Andy Ruiz and, Joseph Parker and Joe Joyce and all these guys? Nah, man, like these guys are crazy out here, bro. But I just wanted to really just do that before I go and hit these streets, I really just wanted to do that, man, just to prove that 3-fight deal, right? Because it's just a rumor. I'm not saying it was real, but it was a 3-fight deal, floating out there for $14 million for Crawford. And I'm like, that's a lowball offer. There's no way around it. It's no way around it. It's a lowball offer, right? Even if they give Terrence Bud Crawford $10 million to fight Errol Spence Jr. So that means he's going to make $2 million for 2 more fights if he becomes undisputed. It makes no sense at all. It makes no sense at all. Right? Even if they give Terrence Crawford $11 million. So that means the next 2 fights he's going to fight for $1.5 million? It makes no sense. It don't matter how you try to slice it. It makes no sense. It's a low ball offer, if that's true. You feel what I'm saying? But I'm hearing that the fight done and all that. Hopefully they dropped it down to a 2-fight deal or a 1-fight deal, just a 1-all. Right? Just a 1-fight deal. So Terrence Crawford, he can maneuver and do what the hell he want to do. But me, I'm thinking it's a 2-fight deal. And if it's a 3-fight deal, it's over $15 million. It better be over $15 million. Right? And if it's a 2-fight deal, okay, I could say like what? $16 million would be cool, 2-fight deal. Hey, I couldn't complain about that, right? Because he can get no, because that'll be going backwards too. That's going backwards. It's like, I mean, how could you become undisputed lineal champion at 147 and you get paid less money? Errol Spence Jr. wouldn't go for it, right? Wouldn't no boxer go for it? You become undisputed in a division. Now you taking less money after becoming undisputed? Nah, man, it don't work like that. Boxing doesn't work like that, you guys. So hopefully it's a 2-fight deal, and it's good money, right? I could say, but since the Spence fight is like the biggest one, so $10 million for Spence, and then $6 or $7 million for the second fight, something like that, right? Because I don't think they're gonna hold on to all those belts. To be honest with you guys, I don't think they're gonna hold on to all those belts, him or Spence. I don't think they are, right? The sanctioning fees too high, and we already know, like, these sanctioning bodies, they want to rape them. So I don't think they're going to hold on to those belts. I think whoever wins is going to vacate and move on. And me, I would like Terrence Crawford to move on chasing Jermell Charlo. That's what I would like, right? He said he wanted to do it. Go after him. So if he beats Spence, another fight with Jermell Charlo, but that's at a higher weight, and it's just as dangerous as Errol Spence Jr. So shit, it should just be, bro. Like, I mean, just pay the man. Just give him a 1-fight deal. Just 1 fight. Just work with him 1 fight at a time. You feel what I'm saying? I mean, shit, give him $8 million this fight, $9 million this fight, and then you can negotiate the Jermell Charlo fight next, and you give him, you feel what I'm saying? Like, y'all just work fight by fight, man, because I don't think these fight deals is going to work, right? Because the PBC, they want to throw out lowball offers. It doesn't matter what people say. Oh, $14 million is a good payday. No, it's not. He made that. He made more than that versus Sean Porter, Amir Khan, and Kell Brook. He made more than that. And that was 3 fights. So why would he go backwards? It makes no sense. And another thing about Terrence Bud Crawford, right, that I've been seeing. Right, like the ErrolSexuals, they love to say, Crawford, he's a dumb businessman. Crawford don't know nothing about business. Crawford is this about business. Crawford is that about business. But it's like, when he was on the Porter Way podcast, didn't he literally have to break down business to Sean Porter? Didn't he? I mean, like, the man was literally telling Sean Porter, hey, bro, I bet he don't own this paintball thing. Right? I bet he don't own it. And they went up and asked the man, and he said, no, I don't own it. Told you. Come on. Man, so obviously he knows something about business, right? And like he said, he made good investments outside of boxing, so he is fine. But how could you call a man who has made great moves outside of boxing, got real estates, got trucking companies, got all this stuff going on, he's a bad businessman? You're not making no sense. You're not making sense at all. at all. Let's just keep it a buck. You're not making sense at all. And you just, you're speaking with all emotions, right? Because you want Terrence Crawford to be this certain kind of way. You want him to be stupid. You want him to be ignorant. No, he was the highest paid welterweight for a reason, right? He had the highest guarantees as a welterweight for a reason, because he was a smart businessman. And he wasn't going for that, no, we're going to give you the rest of your money on the back end. Hell no. I want all my money right now. I don't care about the taxes and all that, whatever. I want all my money right now. Pay me all my money right now, and then I will go and pay the IRS, and then I can flip the rest of my money. You feel what I'm saying? Instead of you paying me these little ass crumbs, then I still got to pay the IRS out them little crumbs. Now I'm expecting my back end money, and now you giving me stipends a month. Hell no. Hell no. No, 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 no. But that just was another thing I wanted to address too. Crawford, man, he don't know nothing about business, man. He just dumb, man. He's a dumb businessman. Oh, man, he don't know how to negotiate. He don't know how to do this. So how is he doing all this stuff outside of boxing? Why is he well off outside of boxing? Right? Why do he have real estate, trucking companies, all this other stuff going outside of boxing? But how can he have a gym where nobody pays nothing? All you got to do is come with your mouthpiece. How did he got that? Because he's a smart businessman. That's how he got it. Y'all can call him dumb and ignorant and all that type of stuff. But I haven't heard of Errol Spence Jr. having all this type of stuff. Let's keep it a buck. I haven't heard of Errol Spence Jr. Not saying he doesn't have it, because he probably do. Not saying he doesn't have it, but I haven't heard of Errol Spence Jr. owning trucking companies, owning, a lot of real estate, man, but hundreds of acres of real estate. And hey, I never heard of Errol Spence Jr. owning that type of stuff. Yeah, I seen him with a choke chain on. Yeah, he drive Ferraris. Yeah. Yeah, I see him with that type of stuff on. But as far as outside of boxing, what is he doing? I'm not saying he's not doing nothing, but we haven't heard of it. Right? The thing about it, how could you call a man a stupid businessman when he giving a fighter from the PBC advice on business? Make it make sense. He's giving a fighter from the PBC advice on making business moves, but he's stupid to business. It makes no sense, and y'all never make sense. You feel what I'm saying? And that's just how it's always gonna be with you guys until this fight over with. And Crawford is raising up his hand, and y'all gonna have a million excuses, right? We already know that he gonna get discredited. He know that. We already know that y'all gonna make up another excuse. We already know y'all gonna move the goalposts. We already know these things, right? Because I thought Kell Brook was gonna be his toughest fight. Oh yeah, like Kell Brook, man, he's a big welterweight, and man, he gave Errol Spence Jr. a good fight. Man, hit him with a juke. He didn't know where the hell he was at, right? Then y'all said Sean Porter's gonna be his salute, trucking with real rap. Right, and then y'all said Sean Porter was gonna be his hardest test. He knocked down Sean Porter within 10 seconds, twice. No, he knocked him down the first time within 10 seconds, and then it took another minute, knocked him down again. Then y'all was expecting for Sean Porter to survive another 2 minutes. The ErrolSexuals are just crazy, right? They are crazy. So y'all was expecting Sean Porter to survive another whole 2 minutes with the best finisher in boxing after getting off the canvas twice. Right? It makes no sense. Why the fuck is this phone going on? Right? It makes no sense. But this is the logic that these guys think with. They don't think with logic. They think with emotions. The ErrolSexuals are really emotional people. Right? They really emotional, man. They don't think with logic. They like the Wilder fans. They don't really think with logic. They just think with emotions. Just like I was telling people, I said Wilder shouldn't take that second fight. He need to take that draw and run with it. Because if he fight Tyson Fury again, Tyson Fury is going to be in better shape and he's going to beat Deontay Wilder ass. He won the first fight. Let's just keep it a buck. Yeah, Deontay Wilder knocked him down twice. Okay, we can count that as 4 rounds. 4 rounds. Right? Because it'll be a 10-8 round. 10-8 round. Okay, we'll count it as 4 rounds. That's all he won. And Tyson Fury just beat him up. Then the next fight, Tyson Fury came out, annihilated him. Then the next fight, Tyson Fury slipped up, got knocked down, came back, annihilated him. Right? Man, but the but the Wildlets, they didn't want to listen. It's like, oh, no, man, no, he knocked him down, man. Look, they cheated Deontay Wilder the first fight. Oh, no, man, it's at the referee discretion. We all know that. We know that the referee can go 1, 2. Man, the referee can do whatever the hell he want to do. Right? Just like the referee in the Lewis King Kong Ortiz fight versus Deontay Wilder, what did he do? He seen Deontay Wilder still on wobbly legs and he sent him back in the corner. Nobody complained about that. Nobody said nothing that Deontay Wilder got an extra 25 seconds to recover after coming out wobbly. They literally sent his ass back in the corner, broke him up, said, Luis Ortiz, you go over there, sent him back in the corner, and the doctor started flashing the thing in his eyes and putting sauce by his nose and all type of crazy stuff, bro, to wake him up. And then we already know what happened after that. Lewis King Kong Ortiz got beat. And I'm just stating facts, but people, they get mad when I state facts, though. Right? But that rumor out there, hopefully it's a 1 fight or 2 fight deal. And, you know, yeah, though, bro, man, but I'm just speaking facts. Facts triple with real rap. I'm just speaking facts, bro. That's all I'm doing, man, because I literally, man, I'm going to track down the tweet. When I literally went on Deontay Wilder page and I said, Deontay Wilder, don't fight that man no more. Leave that man alone. Take your draw and run with it. Go and fight AJ. Get some money, man. Go and get your bag. Right? But I'm a Deontay Wilder hater. This is what people tell me, though. But it's obvious that I was looking out for him. And I'm like, bro, get away from that because you're not going to beat him. Go and make your money with AJ, generational money. Yes, you made good money with Tyson Fury, but you didn't make as much as you could have made with AJ. Go and make your money. Fuck Al Heyman. Right? Forget Al Heyman. Stop playing this super loyalty stuff because at the end of the day, Al Heyman don't care about you and your kids like that, bro. Because if he did, he would have let you chase $120 million. And you had a 50-50 chance of knocking out AJ. Both of y'all cheers are suspect. So you had just as much chance as AJ had of winning that fight. Now just imagine if Deontay Wilder would have went to the zone, knocked out AJ, got a rematch, knocked out AJ again. Undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. What, he would have been Shit like 42-0-1. 42-0-1 with 40 knockouts. Unbelievable. American heavyweight champion of the world. Now, that would have been something to be proud of. That would have been something to acknowledge. Man, a Deontay Wilder, man, bro. Undisputed, Lineal made the bag. On top of that, got the bag, and now they can't pay this man no less than 50, than 40. For him to get back in the ring, he demanded 40 million. Shit, at least 25. You feel what I'm saying? But what he gonna get paid versus Robert Helenius? We gonna see. We gonna see what he gonna get paid versus Robert Helenius. I bet it's not gonna be probably over 10 million. Right? I don't think it's gonna be over 10 million. That's just my opinion. Okay, now what you say, trucking with real rap. If you watch the end of the first match, then damn, why the hell I keep on wanting this white thing? People keep on hitting me up, texting me all of a sudden when I'm on live. Oh, okay, but if you watch the end of the first match when they were calling the score, Wilder was relieved at the draw. Fury face was pissed. Wilder, oh yeah, man, because Wilder he know he lost. That's why his fanboys can't be trusted. They blew up his head and started drinking his own cool. Exactly. Deontay Wilder actually started believing the stuff that that his cult members were saying. Right? This man went on with a year-long parade saying he was cheated and didn't present no evidence. Just said he was cheated. Said he was hit in the side of the head with an egg weight. Prove it. And if you was, Tyson Fury need to be in fucking jail. Right? If you was hit with a metal object in a glove, that could kill you, bro. That's attempted murder. It doesn't matter if it is a boxing match, right? Number what? I forgot the old school fighter who had the plaster on his hands against Cotto. Okay, that's plaster. Okay, yeah, like that shit hardens up like like that shit really hardens up like a cast. Right? So you can really hurt somebody with that too. Right? And he should have been suspended out of the game, done. Right? But Deontay Wilder had a little rant, but bringing up his Bible verses and all that. Yeah, because his daddy's a pastor. Right? That's what he should have. Bro, that's assault. Exactly, bro. That's assault. You got a metal object in your hand and you hitting the man. No, Wilder, you're dreaming. It's all in your head. You start listening to your fanboys and you really start believing it. Right? Then you say that you didn't know nothing about horsehair gloves, which was a damn lie. You used horsehair gloves before. So you're lying? Bro. You literally used horsehair gloves before, but you acting like you didn't know what the hell they was. Yeah, like that's exactly who it was. It was Margarito. Exactly, Margarito. Brenda, he should have been done from boxing, bro. Why? Because he could have killed Cotto. That took off years of Cotto's career. I know it did. Right? We all know it did, man. He hitting this man with cast. Hitting this man with a cast up under his glove, bro. Come on, man. Brenda, he should have went his ass to jail or been banned from boxing forever. You don't do stuff like that, man. But at the same time, Wilder didn't want to listen. His fanboys, they didn't want to listen. They was pumping up his head, just inflating his head with just hot air, just inflating the guy's head, man. And he just like, Oh yeah, man, shit, I'm the baddest man on the planet. Oh man, shit, I want to catch a body. I want to do this. And then he said this to Dominique Brazil. That's when I just I'm like, what the hell is he talking about? Oh yeah, I want your son to be right there, man, like to witness you get crippled. What? Huh? You're not Mike Tyson. What are you talking about? Stop. Right? You losing your mind? Nope, but you just put on that hard persona a little too much. A little too much. That's all it was. You just put it on a little too thick. You spreaded it on a little too thick, and what happened to you? You got annihilated. Now let's hope that your punch resistance is up to par. Let's hope your punch resistance is up to par. Man, because the way you got laid out, I don't know. I don't know if you still have the same punch resistance. I don't know if you're going to go into a shell when somebody hits you. I don't know. You feel what I'm saying? But the way you running around and you smiling with Robert Helenius and all that, man, I know something's up in that fight. I would not be shocked if Robert Helenius got an extra a couple dollars, to take that fall like Malik Scott. Right? Because at the end of the day, who do they want? Who do they want for the WBC championship? You should already know. We should already know. They want Andy Ruiz versus Deontay Wilder. That's who they want. Why? Because Deontay Wilder can't take on Louis King Kong Ortiz again. That'll be the third time. And Robert Helenius versus Louis King Kong Ortiz is not a fight to make no kind of money. Right? Robert Helenius versus Andy Ruiz is not going to make that much money. So what's the only fight that can generate a couple of dollars? Andy Ruiz, who's a what? Hispanic. And Deontay Wilder, who's a black man. The black versus Hispanic. The same thing the PBC love to shove down your throat. Come on, man. Like the writing on the wall. The writing is on the wall what's going to happen and what the PBC want. That's why Deontay Wilder versus Robert Helenius is an eliminator, and that's why Louis King Kong Ortiz versus Andy Ruiz is an eliminator. They trying to save their Fox deal. That's what they trying to do. They're trying to save the Fox deal. Right? They're trying to save the Fox deal. But we'll see how that fight sell. We'll see how that fight sell. And we're going to see their guarantees, too. They don't want to talk about Malik Scott, but they want to forget about that. Oh, yeah, man. Like they want to forget about Malik Scott, who is his trainer now. A yes man. A literally a yes man who took a dive for him is his trainer. And people think that Deontay Wilder going to get better. How? How he going to get better? Malik Scott is going to tell him something that's more than Mark Breland told him? No. No, Malik Scott is a black J. Diaz. That's all he is. A yes man. That's on sugarcoat Deontay Wilder flaws. Right? Instead of telling Deontay Wilder, throw that jab, bring it back. Throw the jab and bring it back to your face, man. Throw it, bring it back. Throw it, bring it back. Don't throw it and leave it down by your chest. Don't throw the jab and then leave it by your chest. Bro, like you open for a fucking counter. You open for a counter. So everybody already know Deontay Wilder doesn't bring his guard back up. So as soon as he throw that jab, I'm going to come right behind the jab and I'm going to hit him. Right? Because that punch is going to come right back to his chest or chin area. It's not going to come up to block his, to block the side of his face, to block none of that. Come on. That's why I can see Deontay Wilder losing to Andy Ruiz too. But Wilder, he gonna be on his bicycle like AJ was. And if he try to get in a hooking match with Andy Ruiz, he's going down. Okay, but if Wilder want Usyk, he should get in there with Fury again. I love Alphabet Boy Tears. Fury showed everybody the blueprint on how to beat up a bully. Oh yeah, man. But Deontay Wilder, though, he wasn't really a bully like Trucking with Real Rap. He just had the persona. That man wasn't no bully. Why? Because he never had the fights. Man, he never had the fights to become a bully. You feel what I'm saying? He never had no quality fights. That's the sad thing about it, though. Like, Deontay Wilder got babied through the heavyweight division. He got babied and got nurtured. He got spoon-fed, right? But he talk about AJ got spoon-fed. You got literally spoon-fed. You haven't fought. Think about this, you guys. The man didn't fight Povetkin. He didn't fight Vladimir. He didn't fight Vitaly. He haven't fought Andy Ruiz. He haven't fought Carlos Takam. Right? He haven't fought Pulev. Come on. These are older guys that's around his age. He younger than them by like 2-3 years, but they in his era. They around his era. And he never fought none of these guys. Right? The man literally came out and tweeted, and text Dylan White and said, I'm going to hold you out for 2 years. I'm going to freeze you out for 2 years. He literally texted this man that. That shit got applauded, though. People literally applauded for this man ducking and sending out a text saying he ducking. He got a pass. Nobody said a word. Oh, Dylan White, he don't need no shot anyway. Dylan White don't need no shot anyway. Huh? He got the belt. He got the silver. He got the next belt in line. Fight this man. Get it over with. I think you had a great chance of beating Dillian White too. Man, he never fought his mandatory Dillian White for you. Come on, bro. Man, he never fought him and wasn't trying to fight him. The man haven't fought Joseph Parker. The man haven't, come on, y'all. Come on. Let's just keep it a buck. He haven't fought really nobody. Y'all see all them names I named off? Both of the Klitschko's, Takam, Pulev, Povetkin, Andy Ruiz. He still ain't fought Andy Ruiz yet. Yeah, he's going to fight him. But Andy Ruiz, he haven't fought Joseph Parker. That's 7 people right there. He haven't even fought Charles Martin. That's 8. That's 8 people. But nobody's going to say nothing. Oh man, he beat the... No, and Tyson Fury need to fight him too. AJ need to fight him too. But AJ didn't fought majority of them, right? He fought Klitschko, he fought Pulev, he fought Povetkin, he fought Andy Ruiz, he fought Carlos Takam, and he fought Joseph Parker. That's 6 out of the 8. So AJ fights 6 out of the 8. No, and Usyk 7 out of the 8. 7 out of the 9, rather. Come on, y'all. What's going on? But AJ been catered. AJ, he had an easy road. What? In what world? No, AJ got fast-tracked. That man literally got fast tracked. He was in the ring with Klitschko with a Hall of Famer at 19 fights. Something that I said, I don't think AJ needs to be his ass in there. I thought the man was going to lose. Swear to God. I said, Klitschko going to knock him out. And almost did. And almost got him in the 6th. Knocked him flat with one, man, with that straight right, AJ, man, he went down like a ton of bricks. But when he got back up and showed grit, I said, man, this man got grit in him. Don't matter what the haters say, this dude got heart. Why? Because he could have easily laid it out, laid it down, right? And who would have, but who would have really said something? No, they would have been like, no, AJ was too green, right? He wasn't really ready for that fight. Come on, man. He could have easily laid it down. Easily laid it down. And got a pass for it, right? Because he was green. Still was green, but what'd he do? Come back in there, fought back, 11th round, stop Klitschko. Then the man with the WBC belt is announcing the fight with his belt right there. Right? He's announcing the fight. He come in the ring, shake this man's hand and say, oh, yeah, man, like I want to do this, in America one day, man, like you put on a good show and woo. Got back to Alabama and got on Twitter or Instagram and started talking trash. And the fanboys, oh yeah, man, we just gonna, right, man, because they all thought, just like I thought, they all thought AJ was gonna lose to Klitschko. And once he didn't, they really got pissed off. Right? Because they already knew Deontay Wilder ducked Klitschko. Right? According to his manager, I just showed y'all the article on the other day, and I even put it in a link. Deontay Wilder ducked Klitschko. He's a baby. He's still a prospect. Let him grow as a fighter. Damn, he got 33 fights. He got more fights than Keith Thurman. How much time do he need? Yeah, bro. Like, damn, bro. Like, that's like 10 names. Come on, man. We got to just keep it real, man. But Lisa Ball was right. Wilder used AJ name for. Oh yeah. Like they attach Wilder to AJ. Right? They attached Wilder to AJ because Wilder wasn't selling no pay-per-views. His first pay-per-view was Louis King Kong Ortiz. That was his first pay-per-view, was Louis King Kong Ortiz. And how many fights he had then? 39, 38? That was his first pay-per-view. But he was a huge, mega star in America. Where? When? Yeah, I knew about him, and other little people knew about him in the boxing world, but didn't nobody really know about no damn Deontay Wilder until he got attached to AJ. Then once he got attached to AJ, Eddie Hearn started talking, and let's just keep it a buck. Eddie Hearn really made Deontay Wilder. Eddie Hearn really made Deontay Wilder. Let's keep it a buck by keep on trying to offer this man offers and offers and offers. Man, he was trying to offer the man offers for 2 years. He was trying to get him to fight for 2 years. Right? The first offer was $12 million. Remember, Deontay Wilder's highest payday at that time was $2 million. Facts. His highest payday was $2 million. He never seen a pay-per-view. So Eddie Hearn offered this man 10 times the amount of money that he ever made. He turned it down. Eddie Hearn came back with 15 million. Turned it down. They came back with 20. Turned it down. They came back with another offer, I think, for 20 and 12, something like that, right? Because they was trying to get the Dylan White fight in there. He turned it down. Man, shit, like Eddie Hearn, he like, fuck it. Hey, man, shit, I'm just going to get up out of it. Man, shit, I'm going to go and let you go and talk to the DAZN owners yourself. Shit, the DAZN owners offered him 120. He turned it down. Then after all that, then he have a draw with Tyson Fury. Then what he tweet? What did he tweet out and say? I could have made more money fighting AJ, but I fought you because I was a man of my word. Literally came out of his mouth. I could have made more money fighting AJ, but I fought you because I was a man of my word. And you should have stayed away from that second fight. Right? Because you didn't want to listen to people like me. Right? Because you probably looking at my channel like, oh, man, he just hating on me. Oh, man, he don't want the best for me. Oh, man, he just hating on me. No, shit, I want the best for all black fighters. That's the difference with me. See, I can critique you. I can talk trash about you, but I want the best for you. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted because I talk shit. Don't get it twisted. I want the best for you. I want you to earn the most money you can earn. That's a fact. That's what people get twisted about my channel. Oh, man, you a hater. Oh, man, you just be hating on. But at the end of the day, I want them to all get paid. That's why I said the Errol Spence Jr. versus Terrence Crawford fight, 50-50, right? They both get a bag. Man, but what the ErrolSexulas say, though? No, he don't deserve that. He need to take whatever he's given. No, he's not this. He's not that. He don't do this. He don't sell that. But people call me a coon. Say, I shuck and jive. When I say, hey, just pay them both. You see how that works? You see how the shucker and jivers and the coons, how they can try to, how they can try to direct it to you, but they really shucking and jiving over there? Man, because if they really cared about the black man, they really want to, see him, get the bag, they'll say, hey, man, pay this man 50-50. Right? It ain't like he wasn't making more money guaranteed than Errol Spence Jr. See, this is a different scenario than Wilder. Wilder was making $2 million. And he got offered 10 times that amount. 10 times. And then he got offered, 15 times the amount. Then 20 times the amount. Then 30 times the amount. Then they offered this man $120 million. And that's when I said, oh my fucking God, I had to get on Twitter. Wilder, take it. The fuck are you doing? Don't listen to, to these Kool-Aid drinking ass niggas. They trying to profit off of you, bro. They just want content. They don't care about your bag. Salute, H Money. Right? Man, but I was literally called a hater, though. Right? Like, salute, H Money. I was literally called a hater for trying to make this man have generational wealth for his kids, because he got about 5-6 kids. Right? Man, now name one Wilder fan who went to his Twitter page and said, Deontay Wilder, take the bag. You have a 50-50 chance of knocking this guy out. Take the bag. Win, lose, or draw. You made $120 million. Take the bag. What did the Wildlet say? They clapped it up when he turned it down. That's right, Wilder. That's right, King. That's right, King. Turn down generational wealth, King. Turn it down, King. You'll probably never get it again, but turn it down, King. But niggas say, I be shucking and jiving. Bruh. I just sit back, man. I just be like, bro, y'all dudes are crazy as hell. Just because you talk all nice and sweet about him, don't mean you got his best interest in mind. Right? Don't mean you got his best interest in mind. Yeah, you could talk nice and sweet about him all day long, but when it came down to him getting the bag, what did y'all do when he turned it down? Hooray! Oh man, he turned down $120 million. Hooray, Wilder, hooray! And you had a better chance of beating AJ than Fury. Hooray! Hooray! We don't want to see you with that bag, nigga. We act like we like you. We call you our king, but when it come down to the bag, we don't want to see you with that bag. Facts. Just like they don't want to see Terrence Bud Crawford with the bag, right? Oh man, $14 million was a good offer. Oh man, so that's $4.6 million a fight. He made that. He made more than that versus a mandatory. He made that more than that versus Amir Khan. He made damn near what shit like he made that versus Kavalaskis. And he made $3 million versus Kell Brook. So what the hell are we talking about here? So he go to the PBC. Y'all been saying the PBC got the bag. Y'all been saying that Al Heyman pays people, Bob Arum cheap. So how could Terrence Bud Crawford make more money in 3 fights with Top Rank than he's being offered with the PBC if Bob Arum cheap? Make it make sense. It doesn't, because most of these guys are off emotions. They're not off reality. They don't think with logic. Right? They don't think. See, a lot of people and shit, I always hear them say, oh, I feel. No, forget your feelings. What you think. Oh, I feel. Oh, man, like, man, shit, a lot of people just be in their feelings. Oh, man, I feel that this should happen. I feel this. No, what do you think? Salute, Sly. Oh yeah, man. Salute, brother. Yeah, but yeah, though, man. Like, man, shit, I just was basically just talking about, like the rumor. Now we've been hearing that the fight is done and all that stuff like that. But the rumor is going around that the PBC offered this man $14 million for a 3-fight deal, and people saying that's fly. Oh man, he need to take it. So if he beat Errol Spence Jr., let's say they get this man $10 million. So if he beat Errol Spence Jr., become undisputed, become the man at 147, become the lineal champion, y'all want him to take a $2 million next fight? His next fight is for $2 million, and the third fight is for $2 million? How does that make any fucking sense? It doesn't make no sense. It doesn't make sense at all. Now, would Spence do some stupid shit like that? Would Spence take a fight with Terrence Bud Crawford, beat Crawford, and then take a pay cut? Make it make sense. It doesn't. Just say y'all don't want to see Crawford with the bag. Y'all hate to see this man laughing and giggling and with the bag. Right? That's why y'all are so invested on lowballing this man. Because y'all deep down inside, y'all really don't want to see the fucking fight. Because y'all know what's going to happen. Y'all can see the skill gap. But people can see the skill gap, bro. That's like Jerron Boots Ennis. Like, people, they can't see the skills in Jerron Boots Ennis. Hell yeah. Just like they see the skills in Terrence Bud Crawford and they see that Errol Spence Jr. is basic. They see it. So if Jerron Boots Ennis, right, like if all these people, they say that Jerron Boots Ennis, he can beat Errol Spence Jr., why couldn't Crawford? They basically do the same thing, right? They switch hitters. They both hard punchers, right? They both unorthodox, right? They both got good footwork. They both got speed. Why couldn't Crawford do it? Spencer's a naturally bigger man. Shit, Jeff Horn was a naturally bigger man. Kell Brook was a naturally bigger man. Jose Benavidez is a naturally bigger man. Did that work with them? Right? Shit, when he fought Julius Ndongo, he was way bigger than Crawford. Did that help? Right? Then I had to tell the ErrolSexuals but what you say, Kingpin Crawford and New Lineal Undisputed. Yeah, man, but Sly, Rodney Salute, fight on the USC. All right, yeah, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then we got to look at, right. Then we got to look at, damn, what I was about to say. Errol Spence Jr., right? Good fighter. I'm not taking nothing away from Errol Spence Jr. Nothing away from Errol Spence Jr. But me, I had a debate the other day, right? Like, and ErrolSexual is really trying to tell me, Errol Spence Jr., man, he only got his mouthpiece knocked out versus, Danny Garcia and Udanis Ugas. I said, no, you must have forgot about the Chris Van Herden fight. Yeah, the same dude who, the same dude who Jerron Boots Ennis beat up, knocked out Errol Spence Jr. mouthpiece. Go and watch the fight. I think it was like the 7th round. Right? And that was before the what? Before the car crash. So Errol Spence Jr. been having this trouble since he was earlier in his career. This is not nothing new. And I think he have that trouble because he's trying to breathe. Right? At the same time, he trying to throw all these punches. He trying to breathe. And now his mouthpiece is loose in his mouth. And if he get clipped, it just comes on out and he spits it on out and all that. But that's a way to get his jaw broke. That's what a lot of people don't understand. That's a way to get his jaw broke by Crawford. Right? Because if Crawford catch you with something like that, it's going to be lethal. Okay, now what you say, Sly? The idea that Crawford isn't worth the money is ridiculous. Spence did 50-50 splits with Garcia and Mike. Exactly. Man, no. But when it comes down to Crawford, it's no 50-50. We don't want to see him get no bag. Take whatever we give you, nigga. Right? 60-40, 70-30, or whatever we give you. Then he come out. Man, I remember this dude, Errol Spence Jr., let that go on for like a year and a half. And then when he get the interview with Brian Custer, I was just playing. You was playing for a year and a half, nigga? So you couldn't let us know that you was playing for... No, bro, you wasn't playing. You wasn't playing. You just didn't know that Brian Custer was going to ask you that question. You wasn't playing. You meant that shit. 60-40, 70-30, or wherever we give him. Right? At the same time, you had a goddamn Canelo fight. But you saying you not chasing around Canelo. But you at his fight on a DAZN card. No. I think that's when he had fought Caleb Plant. So you at his fight, though. Was it Caleb Plant or Bivol? No, I think it was Caleb Plant. Right, so it did have a PBC guy involved. But let's just be honest. You chasing around Canelo. Then and then the reports come out, like the PBC, they got another $100 million for Canelo versus Jamal Charlo and Benavidez or Errol Spence Jr. What's your name even in there for, Earl? Huh? What's your name even in there for if you going after Undisputed with Crawford? Oh, you trying to get up out of there, right? You was trying to get up out of there. Ain't nobody stupid. Why your name is even included in this Benavidez and Canelo and Jamal Charlo issue? You at 147, fool. Right? You at 147. Why you even thinking about 160 and 168 pounders? Why you even in a conversation? Because you was trying to run, duck, and hide, man. Man, but what did Canelo say, though? Salute to Canelo for that. Salute to Canelo. Canelo said, no, they got to fight. Crawford folds Spence with a liver shot, gonna take the knee and won't get back up. But but me, like, I see Crawford walk. See, look, a lot of people though, they think I'm crazy when I'm saying this, but I see Crawford walking him down. Right? Because everybody, oh man, but Spence, he just so big. Crawford gonna walk that boy down. He gonna walk him down. Just countering him as he come along, just countering this man as he come forward. Because if people don't understand the tendencies of Errol Spence Jr., he really doesn't do that much on the back foot. Yes, he moves, he throw a couple jabs here and there, but he doesn't go into full fighting mode on the back foot. He doesn't really know how to do it. He try to get out the damn way. Okay, now what you say, Sly? But if you ask someone when they'll fight and that person brings up someone else, they exactly. Simple, bro. Like if you tell me, Sly, hey man, no, shit. Look, I tell you, I be like, hey man, you gonna get that belt, bro? Then we gonna fight, man. You gonna get the belt? You come back, and I be like, but I got these other 4 fights first. I'm going after Sean Porter. I'm going after, man, like, you feel what I'm saying? I done named about 4 or 5 fighters after I done told you to go and get a belt and we can fight. Of course you're going to call me a duck. You're going to be like, bro, what the hell are you doing? You just really moved the goalpost and you moved it back 50 yards. Not 10. You moved the goalpost back 50 yards, bro. 50. Right? Shit, at least 40. At least 40, man, because it's been 4 years. It's been over 4 years. So at least 40 yards. You didn't move back the goalpost 40 yards. Man, shit. And I'm on the 40-yard line trying to kick a field goal, nigga. It's no way. You didn't put so much distance between us. You feel what I'm saying? And then your fans, they talking about you ain't ducking. Of course you ducking. Of course you listening to Al Heyman. Of course you trying to wait him out. Duh. Because if you had the confidence, this is just basic common sense. If I know I can whoop your ass, I'm going to whoop your ass as soon as possible. Get you out the way. Simple as that. If I can beat you, I'll be like, okay, I'm about to beat your ass. I'm going to go and whoop his ass, and I'm going to whoop his ass. I'm going to be undisputed. Earl could be already undisputed if he would already beat Crawford. He can already be undisputed. Right? He could have been undisputed before Jermell Charlo. 2 weeks before Jermell Charlo, he would have been undisputed too. 2 Texas boys, undisputed. But he played games, got injured, and all that. And then people, like they look at Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman was following the game plan, people. Let me let that be known to y'all. Keith Thurman was listening to Al Heyman. He was marinating the fight. He was listening to Al. Myself included, I got pissed off at Keith. You feel what I'm saying, man? Because I was thinking that Keith was doing ducking and all that. No, Keith was listening to Al. You going to fight Errol Spence Jr. in 2020, right, for 3 belts. You're going to fight Errol Spence Jr. in 2020 for 3. Come on, this is what Al telling him, and this is what Keith was telling us. But we didn't want to listen to Keith, myself included. Why? Because I'm, like I was on my, let's just be honest and shit. I was on my ErrolSexual shit. Right? I was on the ErrolSexual train at one point. Yeah. It's hard to believe, huh? But yeah, I was on that train. I was on the train when he wanted to take on Kell Brook, and I knew Kell Brook was injured. I didn't give a fuck. I knew Kell Brook was coming off an eye injury and being weight drained. He was trying to get some more medical extensions. Facts. The man was literally trying to get more medical extensions, but Errol Spence Jr. and them pushed for the fight. And did we care? No. We just wanted the belt to be over here in America. Myself included. I'm putting myself in that. Myself included. And then my whole energy change about Errol Spence is when this guy came. Is when this guy came up and I see this guy say, go and get a belt, do this. And then y'all meet backstage and you have a whole list already ran down. Then this man asks you, hey, Al Heyman, he don't got me on that list. And you say no? And you literally say, no, he don't got you on that list. What? But I thought you wanted to fight him, nigga. So you don't want to fight him. Why? Because you would have told Al, put Terrence Crawford on the list. Right? Oh, no, he didn't, Sly. No, he didn't, Sly. Don't fall for it. Man, like I'm going to tell you what happened. Al Heyman told Keith Thurman, clout chase Mayweather, right? Because he wasn't going to never get the Mayweather fight. Right, we already know he wasn't going to get the Mayweather fight. And that's how Keith really built up his name, clout chasing Mayweather. Don't duck me, son. All that stuff. That's how he built up his name. And who built off their name off of Keith Thurman? Errol Spence Jr. built up his name off of Keith Thurman. In a sparring match with Mayweather that we never seen a black eye. That's how Errol Spence Jr. got built up. I was a fan of Errol Spence Jr. I know what happens, bro. Errol Spence Jr. was chasing around Keith Thurman. We all start hating Keith Thurman for some reason. You feel what I'm saying? Like, because Keith started getting injured, right? We all start fucking with Keith Thurman, right? Like, even when he was going to take on Sean Porter, we didn't have no sympathy we didn't have no sympathy for Keith Thurman. Right? Remember that man was coming off a motorcycle accident. We didn't have no sympathy for that man. Let's just keep it a buck. Myself included. The man was coming off a motorcycle injury and we wanted him to jump right in the fucking ring with Sean Porter. Remember, he delayed that fight 2 months. I think he delayed the fight 2 months so he can get healthy. Right? We gave Errol Spence Jr. time, though. Recover, do what you got to do. You feel what I'm saying? Do what you got to do. You get better. You come back next year. No, man, we didn't give Keith Thurman that luxury. That's a fact. We didn't give Keith Thurman that luxury. Then he got injured again in the ring versus Danny Garcia. Elbow injury. He had bone spurs in his elbow. He still beat Danny, but he had bone spurs in his elbow. Still beat Danny. He had to have surgery and all that. Just won the WBC title, and by the next 7 months, he vacated the title. The title that he had just won versus Danny Garcia. And who ended up fighting for that title again? Danny Garcia and Sean Porter. How? How did Danny even get back up there to fight for the title when you just lost it against Keith Thurman? It's the same thing with Deontay Wilder. How the hell you even get back up there and you just got your ass annihilated twice? Keith Thurman again. Keith Thurman, how did you get back to number one at the WBC when you just beat Mario Barrios? Right? Oh, okay. Now what you say, see, well, 14 million. Yeah, bro. It's a trash offer, man. Thurman beat Pacquiao. Everyone knows that. Oh, like, you think he beat Pacquiao, though? I think it could have been a draw. I'm going to keep it a buck, though. Like, I think it could have been a draw, man, because I think those last few rounds, Pacquiao was, man, he was giving in. Well, man, because Keith started coming on with some solid shots and Pacquiao started slowing down a hell of a lot. And I was like, damn, Pacquiao about to go out or something? Like, you feel what I'm saying? But they wanted, you feel what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if they wanted Pacquiao to win. Right, because this is just how the PBC get down, man. Now, you can't trust the PBC, man. You really can't trust none of these, these promotional companies. Let's just keep it a buck. Right? Man, but people though, like they just think I just got, some kind of real grudge against the PBC. And I really do, because I've been seeing what Al Heyman doing. Man, and nobody holding this man accountable. Right? He could just go around and he could just do whatever the hell he want to do. Oh, Al Heyman don't say nothing. How you know what he should be? Man, because I'm looking at his patterns. I'm looking at what he doing. His actions speak way louder than his words, bro. He don't need to say a word to me. I see what he doing, man. And he killing boxing. Look at Jamal Charlo. Come on. Look at Jamal. Where the hell is Jarrett Hurd? Where Tony Harrison at? Right? You see what he just did to Jamel. Jamel had a fight in April. Shit, he could have came back in September. Hell no, they pushed him way to January of next year. Come on. Right? They giving us fights like Louis King Kong Ortiz versus Charles Martin on pay-per-view. Mario Barrios versus Keith Thurman on pay-per-view. Andy Ruiz versus Chris Arreola on pay-per-view. Trash. And y'all just gonna keep on just paying? I know this ain't what I want. Man, I know this is not that filet mignon I want, man, but I'm gonna pay for it anyway, man. It's a dry ass, man, it's a dry ass hamburger, but I'm hungry. Man, so I'm just gonna pay for it anyway. Right? Then you pay damn near the same price you paying for the, for the filet mignon for a dry ass burger. Knock it off, bro. I'm not doing it. He vacated the WBC so the welterweight division can go. Thurman deserves the belt for the belt. Let EJ vacate. Oh no, man, but EJ needs to fight him. Right? Yeah. Well, because I'm just looking at it like this, James. Me now, see, I didn't really catch on to how the PBC marinate fights until until the AJ versus Wilder situation really happened. Right? And I'm like, damn, like they really don't. And then the Errol Spence Jr. versus Terrence Crawford thing came. I'm like, damn. Why do they just want to marinate these fights? And then I started looking at old video of Keith Thurman. I'm like, Keith Thurman was literally telling us he's going to fight Errol Spence Jr. in 2020. But he ended up losing in July. And Errol Spence Jr., he beat Errol Spence Jr., he beat Sean Porter. But remember, he got in the wreck like a week later. Right? He got in the wreck like a week later. So they both fucked up. That's what happens when you try to marinate a fight. That's what happened. They was trying to literally marinate that fight to 2020. We didn't know the pandemic was coming, C-19. We didn't know that none of that stuff was coming. They was literally trying to marinate that fight till 2020. And it almost got there. But Keith Thurman lost against Manny Pacquiao. And Errol Spence Jr., he beat Sean Porter for the second belt. Remember, it would have been for 3 belts. It would have been for 3 belts. So I'm looking at it like this. If Manny Pacquiao probably was supposed to fight Errol Spence Jr. in 2020, but he got injured. Let's look at it like that. Right now, whoever was going to win that fight between Manny Pacquiao and Keith Thurman was going to take on Errol Spence Jr. for 3 belts. That's what I'm thinking now. Whoever won that fight, but the thing that fucked it off, Errol Spence Jr. got in the car wreck. And he was out of the ring for over a year. So that slowed down Manny Pacquiao. So that slowed down him in the Manny Pacquiao fight. Then he had to get a tune-up, right? Because he couldn't just come back. Well, I'm not gonna call Danny Garcia a tune-up, but he had to get an easier fight than Manny Pacquiao. Let's just put it like that. Right? Think about the timelines, you guys. Just think about what I'm saying. Think about the timelines. Manny Pacquiao beat Keith Thurman in 2019. Errol Spence beat Sean Porter in 2019. Errol Spence Jr. had 2 belts. Manny Pacquiao had the WBA. They were supposed to fight in 2020. Errol Spence Jr. got injured. So that pushed it all the way off. Right? That pushed the fight all the way off. Danny Garcia became the replacement, right? He just automatically became the mandatory. You know why he became the mandatory? Because Sean Porter was the mandatory in the WBC. Y'all don't even remember this stuff, though. Y'all don't even remember this stuff. Sean Porter was #1 in the WBC. Danny Garcia was #1 in the WBO. And they switched spots. They literally switched spots. You know why? Because Errol Spence Jr. knew he couldn't beat Sean Porter in the condition that he was. Right? He can beat a slower foot Danny Garcia, but a quick foot, right? Like we seen the fight that he had with Sean Porter. So there's no way him coming off that car accident, he was going to be able to beat Sean Porter. Right? And I am going to go back to the ranking systems and I'm going to look up all this. Right? And I'm going to prove it. I'm going to prove it. Sean Porter was in the WBC #1. Danny Garcia was in the WBO. They switched spots. And Danny ended up taking on Errol Spence Jr. Right? And they were still trying to get the fight with and then Kell Brook came into play. So they couldn't get Danny Garcia. I mean, like they couldn't get Sean Porter to commit to the paperwork. Remember, Sean Porter was the WBO, like #1 for a minute. So they couldn't get him to do it. So they tried Virgil Ortiz. He didn't do it. So they went back to Sean Porter. And they offered him $4 million. And that's when Sean Porter took the fight in 2021. But the whole time, Manny Pacquiao and Errol Spence Jr. was supposed to fight. That's why the fight came up so fast in 2021. Right? This whole time, they was bullshitting Terrence Crawford. See, look, I'm giving y'all the game. I'm giving you guys the game. I'm giving you guys the game. So when an ErrolSexual come up to you, be like, no, bro, I know the game. Right? Listen to what I'm saying, and y'all just see if it makes sense or not. So Manny Pacquiao and Errol Spence Jr. was already negotiating. They was already behind the scenes negotiating. They threw out that bag. They threw out that, that line for Crawford and Bob Arum to bite on. Right? Manny Pacquiao said he want to fight Terrence Bud Crawford. Manny Pacquiao said he want to fight Terrence Bud Crawford. Right? Then when it all comes down to it, it's no money to be shown. And then what happens? As soon as the fight breaks down, what happens? Errol Spence Jr. tweets out, blame Bob. Right? Errol Spence Jr. tweets out, blame Bob. But the whole time, Manny Pacquiao was on the PBC. He owed them one more fight. So it was all smoke and mirrors. It was all smoke and mirrors to make this man on the screen and Bob Arum look bad. It worked, right? Because the ErrolSexuals, they ran with it. Oh man, he gonna take $10 million versus Pacquiao instead of 40, and what? The money wasn't real. It wasn't real. It was never in an escrow account. The money never hit an escrow account. It wasn't real. It was all smoke and mirrors to make Terrence Crawford and Bob Arum look bad. And who has an investment in making Bob Arum look bad? The PBC, Manny Pacquiao, and Mayweather. Don't none of them like Bob Arum, do they? So that whole play though, it was a great chess move though. Let's keep it a buck though. Al Heyman had a good chess move, and it fooled me for about 2 months. And I'm like, nah, hell no. Nah. Manny Pacquiao was on the PBC, and according to all the PBC fanboys, Terrence Crawford on the wrong side of the street. So how in the fuck could he fight Manny Pacquiao? And then it comes to find out no money made the account. It was smoke and mirrors. It was smoke and mirrors, man. A hell of a chess move, though. But it was all bullshit. Don't y'all remember Crawford? You know, like he was like, hey, Terrence Crawford's sister, she even tweeted out, like, hey, man, he working on something. Man, you feel what I'm saying? Whoop. And they was talking about the Manny Pacquiao fight because they knew this man really want to fight Manny Pacquiao. But it was all smoke and mirrors, some that the PBC can play off of, right? So they can blame Bob. It's all about Bob. Bob, blame Bob, blame Bob, blame Bob. And that's what it was all about. Because as soon as the fight broke down, Errol Spence Jr. and Manny Pacquiao got a fight. How? That's because they was negotiating behind the scenes. Simple. They was negotiating behind the scenes. And then Manny Pacquiao didn't even know he was getting set up. Al Heyman played he made a double chess move. Boop, 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 boop. Right? He didn't even know he was getting set up. Right? Because a week before the fight, what happened? Errol Spence Jr. pull out. Boop. Oh, man, I got an eye injury. Oh, okay, you do? All right. So they replaced Errol Spence Jr. with a counterpuncher. Right, with an orthodox counterpuncher. Manny Pacquiao was training for Errol Spence Jr. for 7 weeks with a southpaw. Now, a week or two before the fight, you pull out the southpaw and you put in an orthodox counterpuncher with longer reach than Errol Spence. Y'all don't think that was a setup? Y'all don't think that Manny got played? Of course he got played. Right? Then as soon as after that fight, what happened after that fight? Who tweeted out again? Errol Spence Jr. tweeted out, okay, now it's official. Now we can really come on. Time and everything. Your eye got better quick as hell. Right? Then you say you don't want tune-ups. So that meant you could have fought. That meant you could have fought Crawford from November to April. You didn't like tune-ups or none of that. But what did you do? You paid Stantionis to step aside so you can fight Eudenis Ugas. Facts. People be thinking that I just be tripping though, bro, but I just be, like, no shit. I analyze shit and I read and, I analyze this shit and I come up with patterns and I see a pattern. And the PBC has a pattern. They just have a pattern. Right? I already know people, oh, you a hater, Odie Low, you hate, you doing this, but prove me wrong. Didn't Errol Spence Jr. say he didn't want to tune up or none of that? Right? So why is you chasing Eudenis Ugas when you could have fought Crawford? You could have saved Udanis Ugas for last year. That would have been I mean, come on. You still be undisputed. No, but you literally paid another boxer to get out the way, and then y'all paid Udanis Ugas. So y'all paid twice instead of paying Crawford once. Come on, man. But people don't they be thinking I'm tripping though. It's like, no. No, because Crawford fought Porter in November, December, January, February, March, April. 5 months. That's 5 months, people. So you telling me that they couldn't negotiate a fight in 5 months? Yes, they could have. Yes, they could have negotiated a fight. But the PBC, they didn't want. I mean, come on, bro. Y'all see what they doing? They like, no, okay, now we're going to try to wait him out another year, right? Like, we're going to put him off. Man, like, we're going to pay for you. I mean, like, we're going to pay for you to take on Udanis Ugas. You take on Udanis Ugas, you get that third belt. Now you got, now you got a little more leverage. And we still going to wait him out. Right? We still going to wait him out to probably like the end of the year or probably 2023 if we can get away with it. Man, but at this point, it's only 2 fighters who Errol Spence Jr. can really fight. That's Keith Thurman and Terrence Bud Crawford. The rest of the fights are not pay-per-view fights. Him versus Jerron Boots Ennis is not a pay-per-view fight yet. Him versus Stanionis is not a pay-per-view fight yet. Right? Him versus Keith Thurman, yes, that's a pay-per-view fight. Him versus Crawford, yes, that's a pay-per-view fight. He got 2 pay-per-view fights right now at 147. You feel what I'm saying? So which one he gonna choose? And as far as I've been seeing, shit, he been fighting nothing but PBC fighters. So we gonna see how this work out, you guys. Man, I've been on here a long ass time. Salute to everybody, man, who really listening, man. You feel what I'm saying? Who gonna catch on to the patterns, you guys. Man, like y'all got to just really catch on to the pattern. Just because Al Heyman don't say shit don't mean nothing. It doesn't mean a damn thing. Look at all the fights that we could have had from the PBC, and none of them was delivered. None of them. Right? None of them was delivered. There's always an excuse. Man, and then they always say, oh yeah, man, but the PBC, they pay all this money on the back end to do. No, they don't. No, they don't pay all that money on the back end. If you call getting a stipend every month, $1,500, $2,000 a month, when you done made millions, no, bro, that ain't no big money. Y'all heard Adrian Broner pissed off about his stipends. Oh man, I'm a grown ass man. Al Heyman budgeting your money for you like you a kid. You feel what I'm saying? And that's the problem that they probably having with Terrence Bud Crawford, because Crawford is not a kid, a grown ass man who do his own business. Right? And he know what he's doing. Despite what the ErrolSexuals say, the man know what he's doing. Despite what y'all say, he know what he's doing. So, yeah, you guys, though, man, I was not expecting to be on here this long at all. But, once I start talking, I just start talking, man. And I want everybody to understand. I want to give out this information because I want everybody to know what's going on. Right? Like when these PBC fanboys, they come up to you and they say crazy stuff. It's like, bro, please stop. Please stop, bro. Please stop. Right? Because the PBC is no better than no other promotional company. No better. No better. Just because y'all think it's a black man running it, it's not. You feel what I'm saying? It has white investors invested in PBC, and this is a fact. Al Heyman and Floyd Mayweather probably the front men for the company. Yes, they probably the faces you see. But as far as putting the serious money up and all that, they didn't do all that. They got other people behind the scenes that's funding the PBC. And they really get mad at Al Heyman because he ain't giving their ass no return now. Come on, man. He putting on trashy fights, trying to make us pay $75 for trashy fights, right? And we pay $75 for a Rolly versus a Tank Davis, huh? That's worth it? No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not worth it at all. $75 for Rolly versus Tank? No. Right, and then when they come out with the Pitbull Cruz fight too and all that, that's gonna be $75 too. Is it worth it? No, we already done seen that show. Right, we already seen that one. So let me get back to Earl. Earl has 2 fights, you guys, that he can fight. Keith Thurman or Terrence Bud Crawford. Either one. Because we all know, if you guys been paying attention, Errol Spence Jr. has to put on this persona as a pay-per-view star. So they have to keep him on pay-per-view because that's all his fans run with. Right? Oh, man, he sold more pay-per-views. He did. Yeah, so they have to keep him on pay-per-view. Have to. And they have to get him the right opponents that's going to, at least sell a decent amount of pay-per-views. So that's Keith Thurman, Terrence Bud Crawford. And I'm thinking, I'm trying to think of somebody else. Well, Stantionis ain't no star. Jerron Bruce Ennis, he getting there, but he wouldn't help the pay-per-view too much. Yeah, so it's only that too. So we gonna see who Errol Spence Jr. gonna fight next. He keep on saying he doesn't want to fight Keith Thurman. He doesn't want to fight Keith Thurman. But me, at the end of the day, I don't think it's up to him. Me, I think he gets suggestions, and if he want to, go against the grain, shit, Al Heyman gonna tell him, "Hey, bro, this for the betterment of the company, right?" Because that's all that Al Heyman is worried about, the PBC. He's not worried about nothing really else. He's trying to keep his co-company afloat, right? He trying to keep the company that he invested in afloat. That's what he's trying to do at this point. That's why they try to make I can see an Andy Ruiz versus Deontay Wilder early next year, right? February, probably Black History Month. Yeah, I can see that fight coming next year because they trying to keep Fox around. Man, because if you guys don't know, like, the Fox deal is running out and they got to keep Fox around because Showtime don't have enough spaces to keep them. Showtime don't have enough, slots. Showtime don't have enough slots, enough boxing slots to keep all these fighters happy. So they need another platform. And Fox is the other platform. But from what I've been hearing, Fox ain't putting in no money. Fox is letting the PBC and Showtime fund the whole fight. Hey, and they still get their 10%. But it's like, hey, if you want to, you want to get down with Fox, okay, you pay for that whole damn fight and all that. We still going to get our 10%. Right? So Fox is over there doing them dirty right now because they probably done lost a lot of money with these people. You got to think about it. They lost money on Luis Ortiz versus Charles Martin. They lost they lost money on Andy Ruiz versus Areola. They lost money. Right? So Fox probably like, F that, bruh. Hey, check this out. We ain't putting up no money, no more of our money. Y'all fund this whole fight. Y'all make the whole event and all that. Yeah, we will put it on Fox, because it can be seen to more eyes and all that. But we still want our 10%. But as far as us putting in money to help y'all build up this fight, with promotion and all that, no, we're done with that. We done lost too much money with you guys. Right? So that's how Al Heyman is. He's trying to save the PBC with Fox. But you got to put Deontay Wilder in some good fights. You got to put Errol Spence Jr. in great fights. Man, now that I think about it, what company do you guys think this fight is going to be on? Errol Spence Jr. versus Terrence Crawford. Fox or Showtime? Right? Because that could be another reason why Steven Espinoza is kind of pissed off. Right? Because they probably trying to take this fight to Fox. And Steven Espinoza probably like, hell no, it's supposed to be on Showtime. You feel what I'm saying? So that can be another discrepancy, that him and Al Heyman, that they've been debating about. Because I heard they've been getting into it lately. They getting into it, because of Jamal Charlo versus Benavidez. And they probably getting into it over the promotional company. Like, hey, bro, this is one of the biggest fights in boxing. And you about to take it to Fox? Hell no. You better leave that shit on Showtime. Right? So we can get all these pay-per-view numbers and we can do all this big shit over here. But Al Heyman probably like, no, Showtime is a bigger, you feel what I'm saying? Showtime is a bigger platform. And, we can get more eyes on it and we can do this and we can do that. We can do that. And Steven Espinoza probably like, hell no. Like, I'm just, this is just hypotheticals, you guys. But something is going on. But the PBC, they got to save they Fox deal. And once they save that, I'm not for sure they will save it. But if Deontay Wilder come back and he has some cool fights, I'm trying to figure out who he's gonna fight. He can fight Helenius and he can fight Andy Ruiz, but who else can he fight after that? Right? Because they're not gonna put him in a ring with Frank Sanchez. Oh, okay. Now what you say? And something to give football fans the truth. Yeah. See, now that's what I was thinking too, though. Yeah, because it'll be in November. Football will be popping. It'll come on a Saturday. Right? So I don't think no football will probably be on that Saturday. Right? Because it's not the playoffs. It's none of that. So no football should be on. Basketball probably come on. You feel what I'm saying? Probably come on, but that's early November. So basketball probably, shit, I don't know. Like basketball probably do be on. Yeah, like basketball probably do be on around that time. Because that'll be November 19th, they saying. So that's a Saturday. We know that's a Saturday. No, but you never know. No, because it ain't the playoffs or nothing like that. It ain't really the playoffs or nothing like that. I can see Sunday games coming on. Yeah. So it probably just be scot-free. You feel what I'm saying? On the 19th, it probably don't got nothing on. Really like that. It's going to have some sports on, but nothing on really like that. And, they can get all the shine, whatever. But also got to see main November big-time football games for college. Oh, yeah. See, that's the thing right there, bro. College football. I forgot it. I don't know how that slipped my mind. College football. Right? And in some states, we know that's bigger than NFL. It's especially like a city, right? Especially a state like Omaha. Let's keep it a buck. Especially a state like Omaha, football is, they college football team is big down there. See, that's all they really got, I guess. So Omaha. But we'll see what's going on, man. Because it's like, damn, man. Years of waiting for this fight, and hopefully it come to fruition. Hopefully it come. You know what I'm saying? So we can stop all this debating, so we can see who a winner is, so we can, do what we do. Oh yeah, man. With facts like down south. Oh yeah, man. But all the, Louisiana, all them, bro, Texas, all them shit, like Texas got teams too. Few of them. So it's gonna be crazy. That's why I really got to see if this fight is gonna be announced, man. Man, because people, they've been saying it's gonna happen and all that. Hey, I got to wait and see, man. I got to literally wait and see. Right? Because the way that the PBC move. Okay, now who fighting this weekend? Louis King Kong Ortiz and Andy Ruiz. Louis King Kong Ortiz and Andy Ruiz. I'm going for Andy. Even though I like Louis King Kong Ortiz, but he just old as hell by now. I mean, he just old as hell now, bro. Right, like Louis King Kong Ortiz just old as hell, and there's no way he gonna have faster hands than what's the name? Than Andy Ruiz. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, Louis Ortiz got knocked down by a jab by Charles Martin, you guys, last fight. Come on, y'all. He got knocked down by a jab. His legs are done. Right? You feel what I'm saying? Like Deontay Wilder probably messed up his punch resistance. You feel me? That's what I'm thinking, though. I'm thinking that Deontay Wilder with them, with those knockouts knocked out. Messed up his punch resistance. So he not as sturdy on those legs that he used to be. Right? And that's why we got to see Wilder get back in there, because we got to see if Tyson Fury messed with his punch resistance. You feel what I'm saying? Man, because if Robert Helenius hit him and he wobble and stuff like that and he bag off and do some old weird stuff, bro, we know the fix is in, man. Like, I'm looking for that's all I'm going to be looking for in that fight, man. I'm going to be looking for weird punches and all that type of stuff, man. Look, because I just see the writing on the wall. Like, Robert Helenius and Andy Ruiz is not going to sell. Robert Helenius and Louis King Kong Ortiz is not going to sell. Robert Helenius and Deontay Wilder is not going to sell. Right? But they hoping that Deontay Wilder, he can get people back to the ring. But it's like, no, man, it's all about Deontay Wilder opponent. Yes, the Andy Ruiz fight will do fine and all that. But I don't know about I don't know about that Robert Helenius fight. It's not going to do, it's not going to do good numbers at all. It's not going to do good numbers at all. And that's why they shouldn't have it on pay-per-view. But I don't even know if it's going to be on pay-per-view or not. They shouldn't have it on pay-per-view, man. It should just be a regular Showtime event. Man, or a regular Fox event. Just put it on Fox and just let them ride out. Man, like, these people don't know how to build stars, bro. Man, they really don't know how to build stars. But yeah, though, you guys, I'm getting hungry. Salute to everybody who came through in the chat. You guys hit that subscribe, hit that like, hit that bell icon so y'all can be notified. This Odilo Sports Info. And hit that subscribe button, you guys, man. Like, I'm trying to get over that 400, at this point. Salute to everybody who came in the building, man. I appreciate every last one of you guys. You guys have a good one. I'm gone.